All right. Hello, everybody. We are streaming my week 2 DFS lineup review. Something that I really wanted to do. And we are going to do that with you. And on the chat here, I want to see if you could post any lineups. Let me know how you did. All right. Chat. Let's chat. I'll start it off. Okay. So, one thing that you should all know about me, I wouldn't say a beginner daily fantasy player. I've been playing for a while, probably about 6 or 7 years. I don't play a lot of money. I love it though. I love the competition of it. I certainly want to win some money, but I play about $20 on FanDuel and DraftKings, mainly cash games. I do dabble a bit in Super Draft, and if you don't know Super Draft, it's you can play salary cap, but multipliers is a big thing. And I also play a little bit on Owner's Box, which is new. And what I do every week is on Yahoo, they got a free on their daily. It's called the NFL Cup that I'm in. This looks like it's updated a bit because I just try not to go too nuts. This is a lineup I kind of had constructed for this week. It's a huge GPP, as you see. There's 144,000. So, you want to get unique to a certain, but you're looking for high ceiling guys. That's it. So, show you a little bit about what I do, um, and we'll look at my past. On DraftKings last week, $20 put in. I cashed only 14. Now, a big reason for that, and I had a good score, was Trey Lance was my quarterback, and that killed me. I like to pay down a quarterback, and it didn't work this week. But as you see, I play another thing too. I play smaller contests, size that is. So I play low dollar, but you don't have to play low dollar. But I would advise you to play, if you're doing the 50-50s. So classic, do that classic too. Double ups, sort that way, and then again, get your money to what you want to do. So let's say you're a $10 player. Play in this, guys. Well, no, we don't want to do. Play it, play in these. And here's the biggest reason why. You can, well, and this is another thing too. Look to see who's in these contests. If you see these are, the more these things, the more experienced. But here's the thing. I understand in 100, you only have to beat 50, right? But in 10, you only have to beat 5. And also, the difference is in these 100-person contests that I've noticed, you're going to get so many multiple lineups because you got optimal lineups thrown in. I've noticed in most of, if we can go back here, most of these 10-man tournaments, and I like sharing this because there's plenty for everybody to win, there is less duplicate lineups. So I'm not mad at the process that I had here. It just, I had Trey Lance, but you look at, this is a great score. Wet Fart Squad, great name. Did he do any kind of stacking? He did not. This is a good score for a cash game. Paid up a quarterback because most people don't in cash games. I don't. But this is great. I had a similar. So what my process was, I start with running backs. I like home favorites, and I like volume. And I felt that the three guys that I played were going to give me volume. And they did. Henderson had just 10 carries and a touchdown, so he didn't give me the volume. But 5,700, you like to get 2.5. That's not horrible. Barkley killed us, but 24 touches. Gets in the end zone. That's a perfect day for a cash game. Didn't work. Javonte Williams had 16 touches, was targeted 4 times, scores a touchdown, and we get 15 at 6,500. That's not bad. So, I'm not, maybe could have gone away from Henderson, but I don't hate this lineup, and I had a pretty good score. And let's see, they went Gibson, Williams, and, Parkinson. They must have late swapped. Yeah, to get Cup in there. So you see how a few guys can win you your cash games. And I liked Wentz, by the way, and I'll show you where I had Wentz elsewhere. So that was my process. I wanted to get Devontae Adams in. I knew he'd be high owned. And the fact that he still got 7 targets, he had 2 catches, it's going to happen. He scored. Not great. But I liked Dortch as a volume, and of course, a value, at 3,500. He's more of a high ceiling guy, so more of a GPP. But with all the injuries, he was a number 2, so I don't mind this. This is more of like a GPP because you want targets, but fine. St. Brown for that 6,500 for 12 targets, I'll take it. And then I wanted to pay down. I like that game. Cincinnati was really the play everywhere. Even though they only get 4 points, 2,200. So I don't really hate this lineup. And if Trey Lance ends up getting 10 points, say only finishes with 1,250, I might cash a little bit more on this 3-player. Let's see. Look at 118.30 to 119.18. So Trey Lance killed me. But it could have been worse. I could have lost everything, but I didn't. So what I do is mainly I do $16. I do the 80-20. I know it's kind of outdated, but I like it. I do $16 worth of cash. Consists of 50-50s, head-to-heads, these 3-player small contest guys. That's what I enter. Top 5 to win. I didn't do any triple ups this week. And then I do 4 GPPs. Single entry, a big one. And then I do the 3 entry max. So this one I did good in. The single entry. I don't mind this lineup construction. We'll go to see what the winner had. Probably Tua. Yep. That was the play this week. But if you look at the rest of his lineup, it's pretty chalky. Tua, I don't think that was an outlandish play at 5,600 in a high total game with Hill and Waddle. Those aren't like out of the blue plays. And then did he bring it back? He didn't do a bring back. He stacked that game. He went with chalky guys and Williams and Jeff Wilson, which Jeff Wilson was probably the play. Could have paid down for Wilson in cash games, by the way. I had him in this tournament lineup. Might have been able to do that, pivot off of Barkley, and then paid up more for a receiver or even a quarterback, and probably would have smashed. But it didn't work out, And I again, with a quarterback getting hurt like that and still having a pretty good lineup here in my cash games. So my process was here. I really liked, and let's go back to. I knew. It's weird that you just can't keep the history. So this is the single entry, $1, 24,000 entries, but it's a single bullet. So what I did was I knew Carr would be owned. I knew Adams would be owned, but Waller to me at 12%, I was a little surprised that he was that high. So I liked that game. I wanted to attack that game. Probably too chalky. When you total up your percentage in GPPs, you want to be maybe like under 100 if you can. So you look at mine. So I'm adding Carr, Wilson, Barkley, Adams, Dortch. This is too high. So you want to be, so you look at the winning lineup. 24, 35, 47, 68, 75, 82, 85. You add the percentage. You want to be about 100 and under. I was way too high. And that's why, but 37 1-1 out of 23 7-8-1, I'm not disappointed with this, but my process was I figured, Carr at that price, double stack, and then I went with these running backs, and I did a second game stack of Dotson and St. Brown, and I like the Patriots defense at 2% in a tournament. I knew they were going to be like 1 or 2%. So that was my process there. Let's look at the 3 entries that I did. This was my best. This was a Winston stack. So you can see in this one at 163, I was about, well, let's see. Let's add what the total draft percentage equals. So Winston, let's just round up. 2, 11, 13, 22, 35, 42, 51, 60. So about 73% if you add it all up. That's good. And you could see where I cashed in this. Out of 23, 781, I was 2785. The other ones weren't great, but I went Winston to Thomas, and I just did a skinny stack. And what that means is just to one guy and then return it with Fournette. I thought I was looking for a game, and those defenses are good, but I kind of was looking for a sneaky shootout game. And with all the injuries of Tampa, maybe I should have avoided that. But you don't know. And I knew people would be off that game. But I still wanted the pieces of the other games that I saw money in. The Miami, I was all over that. Miami. Tyreek Hill, I think, was higher owned than I thought. But Hill, Andrews stack, the second game stack. So I did Winston, Thomas return with Fournette. I did a Dotson. I should have had Brown in that. I did a Brown. Okay, just one secondary stack. The Miami-Baltimore game. My third lineup, Stafford to Kupp to Robinson, which wasn't bad, and returned it with Pitts, who didn't do much. This, GPPs, you want high ceiling guys. Wilson, Stevenson, that wasn't a great play with the Patriots defense. Should have gone with Harris. And I actually don't mind this. I thought I had some good high ceiling players with Cooks and Pitts. I knew these guys would be all under 10%. And Stafford too at under 10. That's a good score and would have been a good cash game play. And then this one, Burrow, to Chase and skinny stack with Hurst. Didn't have a Dallas guy coming back. Had a secondary stack of Adams and Dortch. And that just wasn't great, but we'll take it. FanDuel, great week on FanDuel. $31 in my cash games. I won all but one. This guy beat me in a head-to-head by, 4 points. Feel like I can build lineups a little bit better in FanDuel. You don't have to worry about 300-yard bonuses. You don't get those, and you don't get the 100-yard bonus either. There's no bonuses. So my cash game construction, again, they don't have $1 small contests. So I do 20, $2, the $2 ones. But again, that's what I did. I played one of my cash lineups in the small squib. I would suggest playing these small squibs, guys. You don't have to... you can get kind of chalky. So let's show you my lineup construction. Did a few of the, this lineup I had would have, you always do this. Oh, I wish I played more, but, we always do that. Again, so my running backs were the same. I went with Barkley, Williams, Henderson. I was able to fit St. Brown in this, in Adams, Wentz, who smashed. I knew that game would have a lot of points. I kind of had a couple stacks here of Ertz and Adams, even in a cash game. I wanted these to target these games. And Jaguars, I thought the Jaguars were an easy play. I really did. I don't think Indianapolis is that good. And I thought at home, at minimum price, it would allow me to get a lot of players in. And so I was really happy with this lineup. Landry didn't hit, but let's see, what did he get? I think he had 6 targets. So, and then my cash game lineup was 137th, but in the small squib. So I did $17 in cash games. I did one big tournament, which I don't think I had a great score. Yeah, this one, bad score. This one wasn't great, the small squib, but this small squib I finished 7th, and I was 3rd or 4th near the end. I mean, I missed $100, but this is where you start, guys. Again, $1 to win 20. It's easier in like this, and this lineup's not that nuts. If you look at the total percentage in the small squibs, if you add up the percentage, 34. 65, let's go to 30, 95, 102, 110, 118. That's like over 130%, but it's an 1,176 people, single entry. And went with a Lamar, a skinny stack of Lamar, Andrews, ran it back with Hill. Secondary stack of St. Brown and Dotson. I wanted, Pitts. Maybe the 4 o'clock game I could have got out of that. I didn't feel like I could. The way it was constructed. But you look at his lineup. He wins this tournament with a guy with 3 points, a guy with 9 points. I just had one bad guy, really. If I could have had, obviously the Tua to Hill and Waddle won every tournament. So, but, I was happy with this. And so that's my Week 2 lineup review. Make sure to hit the like on this and subscribe to my channel. Send me a tweet at the Radio Mike. And thanks for watching.